You think you are living right now, at this exact moment, this second, this clean little slice of time called the present. Cute, very cute. But the universe has terrible news for you. You are always living in the past. Always.
Yeah, the workshop is a bit outdated, but still kind of cool. I like it here. Minimum stress, good environment. Damn, this is really bad.
Okay, in a slightly closer past, but still, you are living in the past, every second of your existence. You have never actually experienced reality in real time. Not once. Not even for a millisecond. Your entire life is basically a delayed live stream with terrible buffering. And your brain? Your brain is the world's most overconfident pirate streaming service.
Okay.
Think about it. Light takes time to travel. Tiny amounts of time, yes. The sunlight hitting your face this morning left the sun about 8 minutes ago, meaning every sunrise is already old news. The stars in the night sky, some of them died before humans invented taxis, which honestly sounds like a much happier universe. When you look at distant galaxies, you are literally watching ancient ghosts. Astronomy is basically cosmic archaeology. The universe is one giant museum where everything is already gone. Some stars you admire romantically while listening to sad music might not even exist anymore. You are emotionally bonding with celestial corpses. Congratulations. But it gets stranger, much stranger. Because this delay doesn't only happen with stars. It happens with everything. The room around you, your hands, your coffee, that suspicious sound in your kitchen at 3 a.m. Everything you see is slightly delayed because your eyes must capture light, your nerves must send signals, and your brain must process the information. Your brain is not witnessing reality. It is reconstructing it. You do not see the present. You see a simulation of what already happened. Your consciousness is basically a nervous intern desperately trying to assemble reality after the universe already moved on. Imagine walking through life while your brain constantly whispers, "Okay, okay, okay, wait, I think that was a chair. Probably, yes, that seems chair-like." Your entire existence is the biological equivalent of bad Wi-Fi, and honestly, this explains a lot. Ever walked into a room and forgotten why? That's not memory failure, that's your brain rage-quitting existence for a moment. Ever stared at yourself in the mirror too long and suddenly felt like you were piloting a meat robot? That's because you are. You are a haunted skeleton wrapped in electricity using meat gloves to interact with gravity. And yet, somehow, society expects you to answer emails. Now here's where things become beautifully disturbing. Scientists estimate that conscious awareness itself may lag behind reality by around 80 milliseconds, maybe more, which means your now is already gone before you experience it. Your consciousness is not driving the car. It's reading the accident report afterward. There are actual experiments suggesting your brain makes decisions before you consciously decide anything, meaning your sense of free will may be partially a narrator, a commentator, a tiny sports announcer inside your skull screaming, "Yes, we chose the cookie," even though the brain already grabbed it 2 seconds ago. Your consciousness might just be the universe's weirdest reaction channel. And honestly, that explains YouTube. But wait.
Okay.
If your awareness is delayed, and your senses are delayed, and light itself is delayed, then where exactly is the present? Seriously, where is it? Try to catch it. Go ahead, I'll wait. You can't. The moment you identify now, it has already become the past. The present may be the smallest thing in existence, so small it might not even physically exist. Some physicists believe the flow of time itself could be an illusion, a convenient hallucination generated by consciousness, which is both fascinating and exactly the kind of thing you should never think about at 2:47 a.m. Because once you do, everything becomes suspicious. Your memories? Questionable. Your identity? Weird. Your perception of reality? Held together with cosmic duct tape. Memory itself is deeply unreliable. Every time you remember something, your brain slightly rewrites it. You are not replaying memories. You are rebuilding them. Your past is being edited constantly like a dramatic Netflix documentary. That embarrassing thing you said 10 years ago, your brain remastered it in 4K. Meanwhile, your genuinely important memories are stored like corrupted files from 2006. Human memory is amazing. And by amazing, I mean horrifying. There are people who vividly remember events that never happened. Entire false memories can be implanted into the brain. Scientists have done experiments where participants became convinced they were once lost in a mall as children. Which sounds silly until you realize your personality may partly consist of stories your brain made up because silence felt awkward. Your mind is basically a conspiracy theorist trapped inside a jelly computer. And what if reality itself works like memory? What if the universe is constantly reconstructing itself? What if the cosmos isn't a stable object but an ongoing process of interpretation? What if matter itself is less like solid stuff and more like information pretending to be solid because otherwise humans would panic and stop paying taxes? Quantum physics becomes extremely rude when you look too closely. Particles behave differently when observed. Matter acts like probability clouds. Reality starts sounding less like physics and more like a wizard having a nervous breakdown. Imagine explaining quantum mechanics to a medieval knight. So, let me get this straight. The particles are everywhere and nowhere at the same time? Yes. And observing them changes them? Yes. And reality is fundamentally uncertain? Yes.
Okay.
I knew it. The forest is cursed. Honestly, the knight would not be entirely wrong. Because the deeper science goes, the stranger reality becomes. Time dilation alone sounds fake. If you move extremely fast, time literally slows for you. Astronauts technically travel slightly into the future, meaning the universe casually allows time travel but only in the most inconvenient way possible. You can leap into the future by traveling near light speed, but returning to yesterday? Absolutely not. The universe treats time travel like a customer service department. One way only. No refunds. And black holes? Black holes are what happens when gravity becomes emotionally unstable. They warp space-time so intensely that time itself behaves differently near them. Near a black hole, minutes could pass for you while years pass elsewhere, meaning somewhere in the cosmos, There could theoretically be beings watching entire civilizations rise and fall while waiting for lunch. Imagine microwaving noodles while empires collapse outside. Terrifying. Efficient. Now let's get uncomfortable.
Okay.
You have never actually seen your own face. Not directly. Only reflections. Only photons bouncing around like confused tourists. You do not know what you truly look like. You know what mirrors think you look like. And mirrors are deeply suspicious objects. Think about mirrors. A perfectly flat object that creates a fake world behind glass.
Dude, I'm not sure you're me. Don't even think about it.
I'm sure I'm descended from dinosaurs. I like it 'cause it's all so cool.
Humans collectively accepted this immediately. No questions asked. Caveman. Why is another man trapped in shiny rock? Other caveman. Probably normal. And that was apparently enough. Some ancient cultures feared mirrors. Some believed mirrors trapped souls. Some covered mirrors after death. Which sounds ridiculous until you accidentally make eye contact with yourself at 4 a.m. in a dark bathroom and briefly become convinced you are witnessing an ancient cryptid pretending to be you. There is actually something psychologically disturbing about prolonged mirror staring. People sometimes experience the strange face illusion, where their reflection begins morphing into monstrous or unfamiliar versions of themselves. Your brain starts glitching. Identity becomes unstable. Reality starts buffering, which raises a deeply cursed question. How much of you is simply your brain maintaining continuity? What if consciousness is less like a permanent self and more like a story constantly being updated, a process, a narrative, a hallucination with excellent marketing? You are not the same person you were 10 years ago. Most of the atoms in your body have changed. Your cells replaced themselves. Your beliefs changed. Your memories shifted. Even your gut bacteria changed, which means technically your personality may partly depend on microscopic organisms arguing in your intestines. Human civilization is run by emotional monkeys controlled by bacteria. That's the situation. That's the species. And somehow we invented cryptocurrency.
I'm sure I'm descended from dinosaurs. I like it. Sparrows are too, but it's still cool. Yeah, still cool.
But perhaps the strangest thing is this. Your brain edits reality constantly. You do not perceive raw existence. You perceive a filtered version optimized for survival. Your brain deletes most information around you. If you consciously processed every detail, every sound, every texture, every movement, you would collapse into psychological soup. Reality is too much, too detailed, too overwhelming. So your brain creates shortcuts. You don't actually see reality. You see a survival interface, a biological user interface, like a desktop on a computer. The icons are not the real machine. They are simplified symbols, which means the universe you experience may resemble reality about as much as a cartoon treasure map resembles Earth. And honestly, that explains modern life surprisingly well. Now imagine this possibility. What if time itself is not flowing forward? What if consciousness is moving through a pre-existing structure, like a flashlight scanning across a film strip? Past, present, future. Already there, already existing. Some interpretations of physics allow for this idea. The block universe theory suggests all moments exist simultaneously, meaning dinosaurs, medieval peasants, and future cyborg accountants may all technically coexist within space-time. Somewhere in the universe, a T-Rex is still screaming, and somewhere else a future AI toaster is judging humanity. Maybe both are correct. Still confused, still alive, still wondering why this script suddenly started insulting toasters. But what if the delay in consciousness serves a purpose? What if your brain isn't trying to show you reality instantly? Because instant reality would be unbearable? Imagine receiving every sensation the exact moment it happens. No filtering, no ordering, no smoothing. Every photon, every sound wave, every microscopic vibration arriving all at once like the universe screaming directly into your nervous system with a megaphone made of lightning. You wouldn't experience life. You'd experience cosmic spam mail. So maybe consciousness is less like a live broadcast and more like a heavily edited documentary narrated by a sleep-deprived raccoon trying to keep the plot coherent. Okay, Dave, we're gonna ignore 99.999% of existence today. Cool. We're also turning your childhood embarrassment from 2009 into a recurring emotional horror series. Why? No reason. Anyway, here's anxiety. And somehow, this works. You walk around believing you inhabit the present moment. You make plans. You fall in love. You buy cereal. You accidentally like a photo from 2016 at 3 a.m. and trigger a psychological nuclear event. Meanwhile, your brain is quietly stitching together fragments of the recent past into something that merely feels immediate, which means the now you trust so deeply may actually be a beautifully rendered hallucination, a useful illusion, a delayed user interface slapped over incomprehensible chaos. And honestly, that might be the only reason humans can function at all. Because if you truly experienced reality exactly as it is, raw, simultaneous, infinite, your mind might dissolve like a cheap napkin in a haunted dishwasher. Physicists already struggle to define what the present even means. For one observer, two events happen simultaneously. For another observer, moving differently through space-time, they don't. So, where exactly is now? Seriously, point to it. You can point north, you can point left, you can point toward the suspiciously judgmental pigeon outside your window. But you cannot point to the present, because the present may not be a location in time at all. It may be something your consciousness manufactures, like a survival app designed to stop you from collapsing into existential soup. And maybe that's the final joke. Human beings spent their entire lives obsessed with living in the moment, while never actually touching the moment itself. Every laugh arrives late. Every kiss arrives late. Every heartbreak arrives late. Even this sentence has already become part of your past by the time you understand it. You are always remembering reality, never truly catching it. And yet, despite the delay, despite the confusion, despite your brain operating like a cursed theater projector held together with emotional duct tape, you still experience wonder. You still stare at sunsets. You still hear music and feel something ancient move inside you. You still look up at the night sky and sense that reality is far stranger than anyone admits. Maybe consciousness doesn't exist to perfectly reflect the universe. Maybe it exists so the universe can witness itself slowly, imperfectly, dramatically, through billions of tiny confused creatures pretending they know what day it is. And if that's true, then somewhere in space-time, a younger version of you is still laughing, still crying, still making terrible decisions, still surviving moments they were absolutely certain would destroy them. They made it here, to this exact illusion, to this delayed flicker of awareness. And for a brief fragment of cosmic lag, you are here too.